Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Recently, a ruling by the Qingdao Intermediate People's Court once again set off a storm of public outrage. In recent years, China has seen a series of astonishing judicial decisions, but today we are going to talk about one of the most symbolic cases, one that may say set back the country's moral compass by 50 years. The Nanjing Peng case. The Peng case is widely regarded as one of the most notorious rulings in China over the past 30 years. It happened at a bus stop in Nanjing. Mr. Peng was getting off the bus through the back door when he allegedly came into contact with an elderly woman who was running to catch another bus. The woman fell and was diagnosed with a fractured femoral neck. What happened next is hard to believe. The elderly woman sued Peng, demanding compensation for her medical expenses. The key issue in the case was this: did Peng actually bump into the woman? Unfortunately, there was no CCTV footage on the bus. Even worse, the original police transcript, which might have clarified the truth, was never presented in the court, possibly because the woman's son worked in the law enforcement. Yet, even with eyewitness testimony in Peng's favor, the court still ruled that he was 40% responsible for the fall and had to pay part of the medical costs. What truly shocked the public was the reasoning given by the court. The essence of judgment was, if Peng had truly acted out of goodwill, he should have tried to catch the person who knocked the woman down, not just help her. He should have explained the situation to her family and left, but he didn't do that. His behavior does not align with social norms. To summarize in one chilling sentence, if you didn't knock them down, why would you help? The verdict caused a nationwide uproar. It was widely covered by the media, and many Chinese TV dramas later adapt the case into their storylines. Although the case was quietly settled out of court in the second trial due to the intervention from higher authorities, the damage was already done. Since then, fake injury scams, or what's commonly called pengci in Chinese, have surged. Many well-intentioned people have been scammed and ever dragged into lawsuits simply for trying to help. Parents began warning their children, if you see someone fall in the street, don't help them. And unfortunately, tragedies began to follow. Some elderly people who went out alone fell in public and, because no one dared to assist, died where they fell. You might ask, okay, maybe I won't touch them, but surely there is no harm in calling the police or an ambulance, right? But this is where China's social environment comes to play, because all mobile phones in China are real name registered. If you make that call, your identity is recorded. If the person later dies or falsely accuses you of causing the injury, you become the first person the police will investigate. Even if you are completely innocent, you will need to spend significant time and energy to prove it. Although Chinese law includes the principle of presumption of innocence, in practice, courts often resort to the logic of split the blame, making the experience exhausting and unfair for everyone involved. Not long ago, a motorcycle rider shared his story on Douyin. He saw an elderly man lying on the ground surrounded by bystanders. Out of kindness, he stepped in to help. To his shock, after regaining consciousness, the old man said, "You hit me with your motorcycle." The rider immediately pulled out his dash cam footage to prove his innocence. Even so, the elderly man's son insisted he go to the police station for questioning. The rider refused, saying, "I've got things to do." I cannot waste an entire day just because I try to help someone. Only after multiple bystanders stepped up to testify did the man's son give up. As the rider walked away, he said to the elderly man and his family, "It's people like you that are ruining this country." And then a woman in the crowd said something truly chilly. "Next time this happens, don't help anyone." Why are these scammers so bold? The answer is simple: low cost, low risk. First, suing someone is a hustle. Time consuming, energy draining, and most people just cannot afford the fight. 2. Medical coverage is poor. When some elderly people fall, their first thought isn't how to pay the bills, but how to shift the burden onto someone else. So, these false accusations become a kind of low-risk gamble. Even if they fail, there's rarely any punishment. But if they succeed, someone else pays the price. Over time, these farmer and the snake tragedies have become so common that many families now advise their elderly relatives, "If you're going out alone, be careful. One fall could destroy everything." If you have made it this far, and you have had a similar experience or thoughts on this topic, feel free to share them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next video.